This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to introduce you to the incredible new Corners and Columns 2.0 by one of my subscribers, David. He said he's been consistently winning with this, and it's fantastic, and I can't wait to share it with you today. And today we're going to put his incredible new system up against a system with 5 double streets that's got a new progression that you guys are going to absolutely love. And it's one I've been using to win with in the casino this week. So let's go ahead and get started with that first, and let's place the bet. So we're going to place $10 on 5 double streets. Let's go ahead and fix that one there first. And now we have 5 double streets. You can pick any 5 that you want. And let's go ahead and spin. This is a $50 bet to start. And here we go. Okay, that's a 36 red to start there. And we got the win. So that's a $10 win. We're up $10. And then we're just going to rebet and spin again. And again, you can move these around if you would like, or keep them in the same spot. The key is going to be in the progression on this one. And that's another win there. So now we're up $20. And let's just rebet and spin until we get a loss. And then I'll share with you the progression that I've been using in the casino to win money. And here we go. Okay, we lost that one. So when we lose, we're going to start by tripling the bet. So we're going to go from 10 to 30 on each one of those. And then if we win, we are not going to reset. We're going to go ahead and spin right here, and then I'll share with you what to do after this spin. And here we go. That's an 18 red. Okay, we won. And since we won, we're going to go to a double now instead of a triple. So that means we're going to take one of those off each one. So we're going to go from 30 to 20. So basically now we're going to what double the starting bet would have been. So now we have 20 on each. That's a $100 total bet. And let's go ahead and spin. So here we go. That's a 28 black. All right, that's a $30 win. Now you see we're up $30. We just picked 5 new double streets again, or we can bet the same ones. Let's go ahead and place these bets here. And let's pick those 5 this time. But again, you can keep it the same, or you can move it around. It doesn't matter. The key is then the progression. And that's a 24 black. That's a nice win. So we're currently up $40. Let's just rebet and spin again until we have a loss. And then we'll go through that cycle again here. That's a 10 black. Okay, that's another win. We're currently up $50. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin again here. And let's see what we get. And this is a fantastic system that I've been using to win money with, and I hope you guys get a chance to use it as well. We're up $60. And let's see how it does today when we test it out here again. It's one that I've been using the last few weeks, and that's a 15 black. Okay, that's a $10 win. We're up 70. Let's just rebet and spin again here. And here we go. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, tripling is a little bit risky. But when you have this many numbers covered, you're not going to have to triple very many times because, and we're up $80 now, because we have 30 numbers covered. And again, you don't reset when you win. After the triple, you do go backwards in the progression, though. You go from a triple to a double. And that's another win. We're up 90. And let's go ahead and rebet and spin. And we don't double from where the triple is. We double from, on the second bet, you double from what the original bet was. So that way the bet gets a little bit smaller after the first win. So you don't have to win to at the triple level. We're up $100 now. And let's go ahead and spin. This one also builds up a lot of comp credit because you're placing much higher bets. And that's a 1 red there. That's a nice win. So we're up $110. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin. Here we go. And some people like to, leave out the one that hit last out of the double streets, and you can do that as well. That's another win there. We're up 120. And the way that would look is we would leave out the double street that hit last, which would be the 27 there. And so I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like there and spin. And here you go. Here we go. That's a 00, and we definitely lost that one. So we're going to triple that bet. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go from 10 to 30. And if we lose again, which doesn't happen very often, but if we do lose again, we will need to triple again. But when you have 30 numbers covered, you usually don't lose 2 in a row. Let's see what we get here. And that's a 13 black. Okay, we won. We're up 100. So now we go back to a double. So We take $10 off each of these, and now we're to double the starting bet, which is $20 instead of $30. And that's a $100 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And then if you win this one, you go back to where you started. That's a 28 black. And we lost, though. Okay, so we got to triple this bet now. So this will be something a little different for you here. We were at 20, so we're going to go to 60. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So we're tripling that bet from 20 to 60. And let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 36 red. And we got the win. So now we went, that was at 60. So now we go to double what 20 was, which would be 40. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll take 20 off each. Okay, and let's go ahead and spin. That's the $200 total bet. So whatever the last starting amount was, you would go to double that. And that's a 27 red. And we lost again. My goodness. So you can see we're minus 140 now after two. Actually, that's 3 losses, but not all together. But let's triple the bet again. So we're going to go from 40 to triple that would be 120. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and this is a $2,000 bankroll system. You can play for a lot less if you just lower the starting amount. In fact, you could do this for dollar units and use just a $200 bankroll. So that's a $600 bet after we tripled the bet. We've had a lot of losses, so let's hope that we get a win here. And that's a 24 black. Okay, we got a win. So now we go back to a double, and we're going to go. So those were at 120, so it went 40 and tripled. So now we do double what 40 was, which would be 80. So we peel each one of these back to 80. And we put one back on there. Make sure that's... Let me put that one back before I do anything else here. Okay, so let's peel the rest of these back to 80. And of course I did that again. Okay, let's get it right this time. Here we go. There we go. Now we're peeling those back to 80. Which is double the starting bet of 40. And now we have a $400 total bet. And the great thing here is once you go triple and then back to double, if you get a win, you reset. And that's a 24 black. And we got it. So now we're back up 70 and we restart. So let's put 10 on 5 double streets again here. And then let's go ahead and spin, and let's build our profits back up again here. That set us back just a little bit with all those losses. But the good thing is we recovered, and that's a 33 black. Okay, we lost that one. So we're going to triple the bet from 10 to 30. But again, we don't reset. We go from triple to double. So there we go. And 30 times 5 is 150. Let's go ahead and spin. That's our total bet right now. And here we go. That's a 16 red. Okay, we won, so we're going to go back to a double. So double 10 would be 20, so we peel off each one of these bets back to 20. And then we'll go ahead and spin it $100 total bet, and then if we get the win, we reset. All right, that's a 4 black. Okay, that's a win, so we're back up 70. Let's see if we can get some more wins here. Consecutive wins would be nice. And that's back to our $50 starting bet. Here we go. And again, this is a $2,000 bankroll for $10 units or a $200 bankroll for dollar units. So you can imagine that $1,000 bankroll would be a $5 starting bet. So we're up 80. Let's rebet and spin. That would be 5 on each of those 5 bets. So that'd be 25 instead of 50 if you wanted to use the $1,000 bankroll. And that's a 2 black. And that's a good win there. So we're up 90. And sometimes you can go a while without losing with 30 numbers. And other times you can get 2 losses in a row. But most of the time you're going to get a lot of wins with this many numbers covered. And that's a good win. So we're up $100. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's a 16 red. Another nice win. We're up $110. And let's keep this rolling, see how many wins we can get in a row. And here we go. That's a 26 black. And that's another win. We'll take it. We're up $120. And let's go ahead and spin again. All right, that's a 26 black. Another nice win. We're going to get a lot of wins with 30 numbers most of the time, and we're up $130. And let's go ahead and spin again here. And this is a really good one to consistently make money in the casino with. Obviously, the smaller the starting bet and the larger your bankroll, the better chance you have of winning. We're up 140, and let's go ahead and rebet and spin and keep this rolling until we have another loss, and then we'll go through that cycle again of tripling and then going back to doubling to recover. And we're up 150. All right, let's rebet and spin. Here we go. So tripling is pretty risky when you're using 24 numbers, but with 30 numbers, I think it's okay. And we lost that one, so we're going to triple. So we'll go from 10 to 30 on each one of those. We fix that one. There we go. And that puts us at a 150 total bet. And then if we win this one, we go back to a double, which would be 20, because 10 tripled is 30, 10 doubled is 20. So we go back to a $20 bet on each. And again, if we don't recover on this $20 bet, then we'll need to triple again. Let's go ahead and take one more of those off here first to get them all back to 20. And now we have $100 total bet. So this one, if we get a win here, will get us recovered. And that's a 14 red. That's a win. So we're up $160. We'll go back to 50 where we started and spin again. And let's keep it rolling, keep making profit with 5 double streets, tripling and then doubling and then resetting. So that's a win there. We're up 170. And let's go ahead and rebet and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 20 black. Okay, we won again. We're up 180. $180 profit so far. I can't wait to get over 200 here. And that's a 33 black. And we lost. So we're going to triple that bet, which again seems kind of risky with 24 numbers. But with 30 numbers, it's okay, I think, because you're going to get mostly wins with 30 numbers. And here we go. That's an 11 black. That was a win at a triple since we started at 10. So a double would be 20. So we drop back to 20 on each before resetting. There we go. Let me fix those last two there. Okay, now we have 20 on each. $100 total, and this resets us if we get a triple, and then we drop back to a double, then we reset. That's a 25 red. That's a nice win. So we're up $190, and we'll reset back to 50 where we started. And again, you can move the bets if you would like. You can keep them the same if you would like. The key is in the progression and the bankroll. And that's a 26. That's a good win. And now we're up $200. That's always nice when we get to that next $100 of profit. And here we go with 5 double streets, tripling, then doubling, then resetting. And that's a 7 red, and that's a win. So we're up $210. And let's spin again. Here we go. All right, that's a 9 red. And we won. So we're up $220. And we'll just keep winning until we have that next loss. Then we'll be recovering again. Here we go. That's an 18 red. Okay, that's a win. We're up $230. And let's just keep getting wins. Here we go. All right, let's keep it rolling. That's a 25 red. Okay, we're up $240. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin again here. And that's a 32 red. And we lost that one. So we're going to triple the bet. So we'll go 10 to 30. Whoops, let me fix that one. There we go. Now we have a 150 total bet. And if we win this, we'll drop back to a double, which would be 20 on each instead of 30 on each. And that's a 4 black. Okay, we won. So we peel a little bit off of each one of these to get them back to 20 each. So now we're at a double. Okay, and we make sure that all those are back at 20, and they are. So that gives us a $100 total bet, and let's spin. I thought it was going to hit 0 there. It looked like it was, but that's a 28, and we'll take the win. So we reset. We're up $240. We're going to drop back to 50 and spin again. And if you can start with a low starting bet and a high bankroll, this is definitely a great system to use. That's a 34 red, and we lost, so we tripled the bet. So we'll go from 10 to 30. Whoops, let me fix that one. So I wouldn't recommend tripling the bet with 24 numbers, but with 30 numbers, I think it's a pretty good idea. As long as you have a small starting bet and a good-sized bankroll. And then follow this sequence of going from tripling back to doubling, and which takes us from 30 to 20 on each. And then that's $100 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 5 red. Okay, that's a win at 20 there. We're up $240. And that was our final spin. So in 15 minutes of play with this new version of 5 double streets, we made $240 profit. And now it is time for the new roulette system of the day from David. This is called Columns and Colors 2.0. And let's jump right in there and get started and share with you how he's winning money with that in the casino. All right, here we go. All right, the time is finally here for David's Columns and Colors 2.0. Let's place the bets, and we're going to start with $20 on the opposite color that hit last, and then we're going to put $10 on the second and third column. You can see that second column we have a lot of black numbers, third column we have a lot of red numbers. And let's go ahead and spin. We're going to be using black and red. We're starting with the opposite color. This is a $40 total bet, and let's spin. That's a 16 red. And we lost. Man, lost $40. We didn't hit either one. So what we're going to do is the black's going to go from 20 to 40. We're not doubling, but going up a unit. And then the columns are going to go from 10 to 20. Now we have an $80 total bet. And let's spin. That's a 2 black. Okay, and we won. Fantastic. So now we're going to be on red for 20. And we're going to be on second and third column for 10. Each time we get new profit, we're going to reset. So let's go ahead and spin again here, back at our original $40 bet. And here we go. Okay, that's an 11 black. Okay, and that's a loss. So with every loss, we're going to go up what we started. So we're going to go now from 20 to 40 on the color. And then on the columns, we're going to go up a unit, which are $10 each. Now we're at an $80 total bet, and let's spin. That's a 34 red. And that's a break even. So if that happens, we're just going to rebet and spin. And the cool thing about this is we have a really good chance. If you're on red, you have a really good chance of hitting the third column. If you're on black, you have a really good chance of hitting the second column. Let's go ahead and spin again after that break even there. And here we go. That's a 21 red. All right, that's a nice $60 win. So we're up $70 now. So we go to black, we reset, and we'll be 10 on the second column, 10 on third column, and 20 on black now. We're using opposite color, and here we go. This is Columns and Colors 2.0 by David, and that's an 18 red. Okay, that's a loss. So the color will go up by 20. And the columns will go up by 10, and that's because that's where they started. This is an $80 total bet now. And let's see what we get here. That's a 1 red. Okay, we lost again. So we'll stay on black because it's opposite color. Go up 20, and then go up 10 on the columns. 120 total bet now. And now that we're having a bunch of losses, we'll probably need more than one win to recover. But let's see here. We've had so many losses with all these red numbers. So and that was a full loss. So we'll go up 20 on the color and 10 on the column. 160 total bet. And here we go. We're going to need some wins on color and column. And there was one of them right there. That's a 20 black. And you can see, though, we're not in session profit. So what we need to do now is we need to take that $80 that was on black, and then we're going to be on red. and we're going to stay with the same bet. And remember, 20, 40, 60, 80, it went up 4. So on the columns, it's at 10, 20, 30, 40. So all we're really doing here is changing the color. So let's go ahead and spin. We need more than one win to recover since we had so many losses. And that's a 25 red. And we broke even. So we're just going to rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 19 red. We broke even again. So if you hit that first column down there, but you hit the right color, it breaks even. Let's see if we can hit both this time. And here we go. Oh, it hit black. And that's a 33 black. And that's a loss, so we increase again. So we'll be going up 20 on the color, 10 on the columns. Now we're at a $200 total bet, and let's get some wins here. That's a 16 red. Man, we just keep hitting the wrong column there, but let's just rebet and spin again. Actually, we should have switched that to black there, I believe. And man, that we should have. That would have been big. We would have hit it there, but instead we lost. So that was my fault there. Sorry, David, about that. So we're still back on red again now, though. Let's go up another unit. And I cost David some big money there by not switching that color. So, let's. If you make a mistake when you're playing, just jump right back in there and do what you were supposed to be doing. Especially, it's also really important too to show you how important it is to practice something before you go to the casino. Because it's better to make it when you're testing systems like this than it is if you're actually in the casino. And man, we just keep hitting the wrong column. But now we do need to move that red bet back to black. So we're going to move that 140 bet over to black. So let's do that. Okay, now let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. And this time it backfired the other direction. My goodness, that would have been a win on red. So now we're going to go up 2 units again on black, 1 on columns, and 320 total bet now. And here we go. Let's see if we can get some luck going our way now. That's a 29 black. Okay, we finally got a win. That's $240 win. We need more than one of those, but we need to switch the bet back to red. So we're going to take that 160 bet on red, and we're going to, on black, and move it back to red. Still 320 total bet. Let's get it in session profit and restart. That's a 35 black. We hit the wrong color there, so that cost us 80 bucks. So we increase 20 on the color, 10 on the columns, and now we're at a 360 total bet. And here we go. That's a 23 red. Okay, that's a nice $270 win. Okay, now we're in session profit at 190. And sorry, David, that I messed that up with that betting on the wrong color there. You would have won that back a lot sooner if I hadn't made that error. But again, guys, that's why it's so important that, and let's go back to our starting bet now. That's why it's so important that you guys practice these on simulators before you take them to the casino. Not only does it give you a lot more comfort and knowing that you're, and knowing that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it also, keeps you from making mistakes. You would rather make those mistakes when you're testing them like now than when you're actually in the casino. So keep that in mind. We're going to need to move that black over, or that bet over to red. Let's see here. There we go. And we need to put that one back there and spin. So we should always be on opposite color with this one. And here we go. That's a 33 black. And that's a loss. So we'll still be on red, but we'll have to go up 20 bucks. Again, we're not doubling on either one of these. We're going up by the amount they start with. We start with 20 on color and 10 on columns. And that's a 7 red. And that's a break even. We keep hitting the wrong column there. So we're going to need to move that red bet over to black for $40. And let's go ahead and spin. Then we'll check our balance after this spin here. That's a 4 black. Okay, we broke even. That won't hurt us any. But we'll need to move it back to red. So let's put that 40 bucks on red and spin. And let's see if we can get a red number in the second or third column. And we did. That's a 36 red. We will take it. And we're up $240 now. And we're going to go ahead and go back to our original $40 bet, which is $20 on the color, the opposite color, and then $10 on second and third column. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. So now it's doing fantastic. It just took us a little time and patience. And if I had made that mistake earlier, he would have been up a lot earlier than this. So that's pretty cool. We're already up $270, but it's nice to know that, you know, even if you don't, bet on the exact bet that you're supposed to be on color-wise, that the progression took care of it, and that we're still doing good. So, all right, we should be on red now. So let's go ahead and move that $20 bet to red. Now we have a $40 total bet. All right, here we go. Because I can tell you the progression is so much more important than bet selection, and because the odds are the same on everything, even though patterns are usually pretty good. We're going to need to move that bet back to black. Patterns are good for making sure you don't lose with a bunch in a row of one thing, but the progression is the real key. It's like, what do you do when you lose, and is the most important thing, and how do you recover? Because the odds are the same on everything, whether it's an outside bet. As long as you're betting on the same amount of numbers like an outside bet, the odds are going to be the same whether you pick red or black. So let's go ahead and go red for 20 here. We're sticking with the opposite color. But again, if you make a mistake, it doesn't really affect the progression, but it does, obviously the time we did it, we would have won if we had picked the other color. But the progression saved us anyway, and we're up $230. So we need to add 20 to the color here and 10 to each of the columns because we lost that last one here. And here we go. Whether it's a total or partial, we're going to increase. And that's a 15 black, and that's a loss. So we're going to stay on red, opposite color, 20 up on the color, 10 up on the columns. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 19 red. And that's another break even. We've done that a bunch today. We need to switch back to black. So we'll take that $60 and put it on black. 120 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin, and let's see what we get here. Okay, that's a 16 red. Okay, we lost. That was a big loss there. We're going to go up 20 on the color and 10 on the columns. And obviously, if you have total losses, it's harder to recover, and you need more wins to recover. But the jackpots are nice when we get them, and that helps us do that. And that's 2 full losses in a row, which put us back at a negative. So we're going to have to go 20 up on the color and 10 up on the columns. And since we had 2 full losses in a row there, we're going to have to get a few wins in a row here to recover with jackpot numbers. And man, that's another break even. Doesn't hurt us any, but I sure wish it was a win. So let's take that $100 that we had on black and put it on red. And that's a $200 bet. Let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 9 red. There we go. That's a nice $150 jackpot. But you can see we're not in session profit. So we're going to keep the bet the same, but we're going to need to move colors. We're going to take that $100 bet and put it on black. And spin, and here we go. And we hit red, of course. That's a 30 red. That's a $50 loss. So we'll be increasing 20 on the color, 10 on the column, 240 total bet. Let's hit a jackpot here. There's a lot of jackpots to be had with this system. And that's a 10 black. And man, we keep hitting that first column. It didn't hurt us any there, but man, that would have been nice to hit. And we're at 120 on the color, so on opposite color. So let's go ahead and spin, and hopefully we can get a red number here. And of course, it's a black 20. Another loss. So we're gonna stay on red, go up 20, and then add 10 to each of those columns. Okay, we're at 280 total bet. Now this is a $2,000 bankroll system. You can play for less. You just have to reduce the starting bets. And that's a $70 loss because we hit the wrong color there. So we'll go up 20 on the color, 10 on the columns, 320 total bet, and let's spin. And we still have plenty of bankroll. We just need to start getting some wins here. And that's a 3 red, and that's a good start. That's a $240 win. Look at that. We're back up 140 bucks. And let's switch to black now. Excuse me. And we just need one more good win to get us in session profit. So let's get that. But that's a 30 red, darn it. $80 loss. So we will go up again. 20 on the color, 10 on the column, 360 total bet. And that's a 6 black. That's a $270 win. So now we're up $330. That's new session profit for sure. So we're going to restart with 20 on the opposite color, which would be red, not black. And then 10 on each of the columns. And let's go ahead and spin. Now we're doing great. So we were patient. We used our bankroll to our advantage. And here we go. That's a 2 black. And that's a loss. So we increase. And we'll go up 20 on the color, 10 on the columns. And let's spin. Here we go. All right. And that's a 30 red. That's a nice $60 win. Now we're up $380. And again, this is David's column and colors 2.0 system. And we're out of time. So in 15 minutes, we made $380 profit with David's new version of this system. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to send a system, and send it to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. I pick a new one every single day of the week, 365 days of the year, in the search for the best roulette system each and every day. And if you're enjoying that search with me, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that absolutely love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.